In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your tubeless tires. So what you're going to need is a tubeless valve stem, something to use for rim tape. I'm going to be using Gorilla Tape, works really well. And then tubeless sealant to put in the tire. And what you'll also need is either a pump or an air compressor. I would recommend an air compressor, and maybe a tire lever if you want. So let's get going. First thing we're going to do, take off the tire and we're going to deflate it. Now we're going to remove the old rim strip setup to make way for a new airtight one. Now we're going to hit the inside of the rim with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel just to remove any gunk that's on there to make way for the new rim strip. Alright, now it's time to make the rim strip. I actually have a full video on how to do this, but I'll explain it briefly here. What we're going to do is start with tape. We're going to start on this side of the hole for the valve stem. We're going to cover up all these holes where the spokes come out, and then we're going to stop just after a little bit, and then we're going to poke a hole for the valve stem to go through after. You want it to be about as wide as this inner part of the rim, but not much wider, because we got to leave room for the bead to sit in on the walls of the rim. And once you've done that, just do a round of pressing it in to ensure that it's tight in there. Now we need to poke the hole for the valve stem. So it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but it's right here on my rim. And I'm just gonna use a screwdriver to poke a little hole so that we can get the valve stem through there. You don't want it to be too big, so there, that's good. Just enough so you can squeeze it through there. See that? All right, now I'm gonna put the valve stem in so we don't have to do it once the tire's on. So what we're gonna do for that, just unscrew the top cap, unscrew this little nut right here, and then jam it through that hole we made. And then on the other side, we wanna tighten it back up with this nut again. Remember, this has to be tight enough for the air not to escape, so you want to give it some good torque when you're doing this. So now we're just going to put one side of the tire on, so get the bead fully over on one side, and then after that we're going to do the sealant. Alright, so now on the other side we're going to mostly seal the bead, but we're going to leave a little spot where we can dump some sealant in. Alright, now we're going to dump some sealant into that hole we left open. Your bottle will say how much you need for the size of your tire. This is a 4-ounce bottle, and it says I need 3 to 4 ounces, so I'm going to use about 3/4 of it. So I'm eyeballing it because this is the quick and dirty tutorial. That was about 1/4 of a cup. Shake it before you use it also. And so I'm going to do about half of this bottle. We're going to close this up. Now that the tire's on and the sealant's in there, we're just going to stir it up a little bit by flipping the wheel a couple times, and then we're going to go to the air compressor and see if we can get the bead to seat in the sides of the rim. So, I don't know if you can see this. I've got a hole in my tire right here where sealant's coming out. So I'm gonna try and flip it, get some sealant to go over that hole. Hopefully we can get that sealed up. You can see it bubbling out right there. So the idea is that we'll dry and patch it, but we might have to inflate it a couple times before we get that one fully sealed. All right, now that our little hole has sealed itself, we can put our wheel back on the bike and we're ready to ride. You should monitor your bike for a couple of days after to keep checking the air pressure, even in the following hours. And if you do notice any leaks, try to shift the pool of sealant to where the leak is, and just give it some time to seal itself. That's gonna conclude this video. Please support the channel by subscribing if this helped you, and I'll see you in a later one.